You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome, Locked On Sports Philadelphia. You're Locked On Phillies Postcast. My name's Mark Farzetta. Just great to have you along for the ride. Of course, yesterday's game was a lot more fun. Couldn't do yesterday's postcast. Had a little family thing going on there. All good stuff. And it was planned, so we had to, it was a family get together and couldn't do the show yesterday. But that was a lot of fun. Tyler Phillips, again, is the stopper. Needed another stopper today to not just stop a general losing streak, but stop a losing streak of now 4 consecutive series lost by your Philadelphia Phillies. All series they have played since playing against and sweeping the LA Dodgers, they have lost every series since then, which totals out to be 4 series losses in a row. This is a team that over their last 53 games, as we have talked about, has just been barely able to hover over the 500 mark. So this is a bigger problem than just anything going on right now. We'll explore the most recent loss as the show goes on today. Obviously, this particular show is brought to you by SupplyHouse.com. That's SupplyHouse.com. It's the reliable way to get parts fast. You could shop for your next plumbing, HVAC, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. That's SupplyHouse.com. Infuriating. Before I get to 3 big things, infuriating to see a loss like this, especially when there's one guy really carrying your team offensively, and he's already giving you 3 RBIs with 2 home runs, and that's Kyle Schwarber, his 21st and 22nd home runs of the season. And nobody else can help pick that guy up. Okay, cool. You look at your 2 through 6 hitters today, and they combine to go 0 for 18. Okay, that doesn't really help. At one point, you could literally hear, and I didn't know what it was at first because it was so delayed. Phillies had an opportunity to do some damage after a leadoff walk to Kyle Schwarber. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner stepped to the plate. Trey Turner first. He ends up popping or striking out. And then Trey Turner steps up, and he gets 2 balls that he can normally groove. And for whatever reason, he wasn't able to groove these particular pitches. Instead, fouls them away. The one pitch in particular that I'm talking about is one that he fouled away. And you could hear in the distance as the camera followed the ball into the crowd, a man yell an obscenity. All right. And I went, that was really loud. Actually kind of sounded like it came from the field because normally you're not picking up the crowd that well. And who would be yelling that in the crowd? Oh, it must have been Bryce Harper. And then you could definitely hear Mike Schmidt go, whoop. Did we get that? I think we got that. So when Harper did that, I think he was speaking for all of us at that time. And we'll cover that in more detail as the show goes on. But very frustrating loss for your Philadelphia Phillies. And this is nothing new. I know that best record thing has been a really nice deodorant for how the Phillies have really played since their just incredible starts of the year. But watching this team play right now is nauseating. It's when I watched this team yesterday, I was following the game yesterday. It was exciting. The people I was with were enjoying it. We were having a great time. And to know that that's not something that will be consistent as it had been in the first real 3 months of the season, that's what really gets to you. The idea that this consistent brand of baseball, in particular, speaking about the offense, just seems to be a thing of the past. And you hope you have Austin Hayes here now that'll help you solidify that. He took the collar today, unfortunately. You hope that your starting pitching will get back on track. And today it wasn't terrible at all. It was the bullpen that came around to bite you in the old behind. And the fielding, unfortunately, in that big inning for the Guardians today, just a couple of inches other directions. And all of a sudden you're talking about getting out of that inning with no problem. But it just wasn't meant to be for the Phillies today. And it seems like more often than not, it's not meant to be for the Phillies. Beginning of the year, everything was meant to be for the Phils. Now they're having a real tough time creating their own luck. And with that luck, finding consistency. You're done. And you banned Jose Alvarado. I'm Estevez to get here as fast as possible. I'm for him. I know you're for. Everyone's for that back end, the bullpen guy. If you're telling me for the vast majority of what's left in the season, you're telling me that in the postseason, what you're going to be getting out of the back end of the bullpen is Strahm, Hoffman, Estevez. If those are the guys that you're going to be getting, I am 100% for that. And for me, that is going to make a lot of people feel a hell of a lot better as they get closer and closer to the postseason. As this season winds down, we're here almost officially at the end of July, getting to August and September, to know that you're going to have 3 solid arms to go to at the end of that bullpen, including 2 All-Stars and the guy who was an All-Star last year. That makes you feel pretty good about who you're going to be giving that ball to. But what went down, unfortunately, in that 7th inning was ugly. You have Jose Alvarado get the ball in a 3-3 ball game. Rocchio goes up there. He grounds out to short. Naylor goes up there. He grounds out to Bryce Harper. You're feeling like you're going to get through this inning. No problem, no harm, no foul. Alvarado, 1, 2, 3. Let's go, baby. And Kwan steps up, gets a sinker down and in. Very down, very in. And he turned on this baseball in a lefty-lefty matchup and became the first left-handed hitter to take Jose Alvarado deep in over 2 years. And he blasted that ball 371 feet down the right field line for the go-ahead, later the game-winning home run. Alvarado, you had one job. You couldn't do it. And the only reason I put him back in the number 1 category is because that we've seen it too many times. And when I watch this lineup, I know that there is a better brand of baseball in this lineup. Jose Alvarado does not look like a guy who's going to discover any type of consistency, as we're begging for any form of consistency on this team. So Alvarado takes the number 1 spot for me, and he also takes the number 1 spot because I feel like it's the last time he'll really have the opportunity to take the number 1 spot on my 3 big things, and in this particular case, 3 things that I look at in this game that are rather on the negative side. So that's what I look at with Jose Alvarado. Number 2. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Alec Bohm. Now, Alec Bohm had a couple of walks, so there is that. Alec Bohm, Nick Castellanos, Austin Hayes. The day you don't have JT Realmuto playing. 0 for 18 in this game. Interesting point came up here, mentioned by Michael Jack Schmidt during the broadcast. It was after Jose Alvarado gave up the home run in the 7th inning to Kwan to make it a 4-3 game. You start off that bottom of the 7th inning with Kyle Schwarber working a 3-2 count. He's able to work a walk, so you got a leadoff hitter on. Trey Turner steps up there, and Mike Schmidt brings up the idea of bunting. Now, I do not expect Rob Thomson to tell a guy that's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball for the last month plus, hey, why don't you lay down a bunt here? Right? I don't expect him to do it. If you're talking about X's and O's, very general baseball, it's a 1-run ball game. You have a speedy runner at the plate. You have the meteor order coming up. You already have a runner on first. And you have a third baseman basically surrendering the bunt, as in this particular instance, I think it was Ramirez was playing way back at third base. Drop down a bunt in that 7th inning. And all of a sudden, you're more likely than not, you're going to have runners on first and second with Bryce Harper coming up and nobody out. So the odds of you actually getting someone to third base or even bringing someone around to score to tie the ball game actually increase pretty damn well. Now, the thing is, Trey Turner never bunts. So then you're going to be asking somebody who never bunts to lay down a bunt. Now, if Trey Turner, it dawns on him to go, oh, look, the third baseman's all the way back. I can get a runner in scoring position, put 2 men on with nobody out. Oh, we'd be sitting pretty. He doesn't do it. He decides to swing away. He ends up flying out to right field for the first out of the 7th inning. So now you got a runner on first with 1 out. Bryce Harper steps to the plate. He gets a pitch out over the middle of the plate that he fouls away down the left field line, and that's when you hear the bleep. And I'm like, yeah, I'm saying the same thing because that's usually a pitch you take pretty deep there, Bryce Harper. And he didn't, and you hear him yell it. You hear it acknowledged by Michael Jack Schmidt, and then he ends up flying out to right field as well in that at-bat, And on the pitch the pitch he flew out to right field on, that's also a pitch we have seen him rope in the past. Wasn't able to do it. So now you got a runner on first with 2 outs in the 7th inning. You're down a run. Alec Boehm works his second walk of the game, I think, at that point. Nick Castellanos steps up. Now, I'm going to keep it here in the 7th inning as to attempt to not confuse you. Alec Boehm steps up, works a walk. Castellanos steps up after that, swings at the first pitch, flies out to right field. Which brings me to point number 3. I know this entire lineup, when you're talking about everyone not named Kyle Schwarber, really didn't do much for you today, okay? Brandon Marsh got a hit for you. Edmundo Sosa got a hit for you, I believe, in tonight's game. Yeah, Sosa hit, Stop for run, Marsh got a hit, Stubbs got a hit. Okay, so Schwarber got you 2 hits, and then the next guy down the order, Edmundo Sosa. Next guy to get a hit, Edmundo Sosa all the way down there at the bottom of the order. Okay, so all the guys that didn't hit today, the one that drove me the craziest by far was Nick Castellanos, and he's number 3 on my list today. Nick Castellanos, I have given every ounce of praise that he has deserved over the last month and a half of the season, where he has looked a hell of a lot more like the guy that made the All-Star team last year than the guy that finished the season, especially the guy that finished the season in the NLCS against the Diamondbacks. But Nick Castellanos had me throwing things against the wall in the game today. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. There was an instance early in this ball game where the Phillies really could have done some damage outside of just what Kyle Schwarber was doing for you. And I just don't understand it. 3rd inning, you're up 3-0. Garrett Stubbs led off with the single. Kyle Schwarber gets his 2-run home run, make it a 3-0 game. Trey Turner goes up there, grounds out to short. Now, Bryce Harper walks. 3-2 count, he walks. Alec Boehm walks on 5 pitches. In total, the previous 2 batters to Nick Castellanos stepping to the plate, the last 7 pitches thrown by Cantillo today, in those 2 at-bats versus Bryce Harper and Alec Boehm, in those 2 at-bats preceding Nick Castellanos, he threw 7 pitches. One of those 7 pitches was a strike. In the 7 pitches leading up to Nick Castellanos getting his at-bat, of those 7 pitches, one of them was for a strike. So he's been able to find the strike zone once in his previous 7 pitches. Now, I am not the guy that bangs the drum for never swing at the first pitch, okay? It's situational a lot. But in this particular instance, Nick Castellanos, I am begging, before he steps into the batter's box, do not swing at the first pitch. You have a guy who cannot locate. Take advantage. And what does he do? What does Nick Castellanos do in this situation? You guessed it. He swings at the first pitch. Now, he didn't make contact. So what does he do on the next pitch? He swings at that one too. On this one, he does make contact. He ends up lining out to right field. So after 6 out of the 7 pitches that were balls, he swings at 2. He's out. So now you got 2 outs in the inning. With Bryce Harper and Alec Boehm on the bags. And then Hayes steps up to the plate, couldn't check his swing, and that ends up retiring the side there. It's still 3-0. So you got 2 runs in the inning. I feel like it could have definitely been a bigger inning if you would have had some more contact there at the plate and a little patience above all in the 3rd inning. If I'm going to be the guy that's going to be applauding Nick Castellanos for what he's done over the last month and a half, I also have to keep it real when he does something stupid. Such as I like to call it reading the room, basically. You go up to the plate, you notice that the pitcher not locating, maybe take a couple of pitches. Maybe instead of making a little bit of a mistake, he'll make a huge mistake on one of the pitches. And then you drive that baby. But no, he's got to guess right. Got to guess. Oh, I don't guess right, I don't produce. Well, you've been actually doing a pretty good job of producing as of late, and you've actually been having some pretty good at-bats lately. Why the reversal? Why the regression almost in this game? Drove me absolutely crazy. So Alvarado, talking about that in the meat of the order, what the hell are they doing? And then obviously Nick Castellanos in particular drove me the most bonkers crazy today. Look, Bryce Harper, for instance, he's going to go through his lulls. We all know that. He's going to have pitches that normally he grooves, that he fouls away, or they become soft fly balls to right field that he's just under a little too much. That's going to happen. But when you have a good approach, when you apply a good philosophy, more often than not, you're going to have success. And tonight, and what's really felt like, or this afternoon, and what's really felt like the case over the last 4 series in particular, it just feels like this team has really lost their mojo. And that's the first thing that jumps to mind when I watch them. Last night was phenomenal. Seeing Tyler Phillips go to the mound in the 9th inning, listening to him after the game, talking about all the different emotions he was feeling, going through that was spectacular. And then you figure, okay, now build off it. All right, you get 8 runs. You get a huge inning, 3 home runs. Oh, that's great. Build on it. Kyle Schwarber starts it off great with a leadoff home run. He comes around again the next time up in the 3rd inning. He hits his 2nd home run of the game. You have the guys in the booth talking about the home run cycle. A solo home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and a grand slam. Never been done. High hopes? Sure. But yeah, it's nice to hope for it. Nobody else willing to hit in today's ballgame. Nobody else willing to have concentration, patience, or just smart baseball. For instance, Trey Turner. In that particular inning, yes, if you're playing video games, you might lay down a bunt. The smart general play, just lay down a bunt. Third baseman's playing all the way back. You lay down even a decent bunt. It doesn't even have to be a good one, just a decent bunt. You have 1st and 2nd with nobody out. And Bryce Harper coming to the plate, and then Alec Boehm coming to the plate. And then waiting for Nick Castellanos to swing at the first pitch to get to probably retire the side. But anyway, you have a huge opportunity there. They did not take advantage of it. Drives me absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. We'll get your takes on this when we come back. I'll see you guys in the chat. Sounding off, rightfully so. Back with you guys in a second. Locked On Sports Philadelphia or Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Oh, you guys have heard me talking a lot about Stitch Fix. I absolutely love Stitch Fix. Got a lot of clothes from Stitch Fix, as a matter of fact. They turned me on to this pair of jeans that I only buy this brand of jeans thanks to Stitch Fix. You know, the instant confidence boost that you get from a nice outfit makes you look really good. That confidence boost, you get it automatically when it comes to the great people of Stitch Fix and the stylist that is assigned to you. It's easy to upgrade your wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new and on-trend favorites that will work for you. You just give your stylist your size, style, budget preferences. And what I do is I order the boxes and I see what I want. What I want, I keep. What I don't want, I send back. You just send back the rest. There's no subscription required. You get sent a couple of nice pieces that you like. You hold on to them. The outfit recommendations that the pro styling advice gives you is fantastic. And if you don't like something, you just send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free. Keep what you want, send back what you don't want. Stitch Fix makes it so easy. I don't like to shop. Quite frankly, I don't have a lot of time for it with 2 little kids running around. Don't like the effort to put into it either. So Stitch Fix hooks it up. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started at stitchfix.com. That's stitchfix.com/MLB and get $20 off your first fix. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $20 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. Just redeem within 7 days of sign up or offer does not include kid fixes. Also want to tell you guys, if you're watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day and you got to turn down the volume because of all that shouting, make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel. Program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Sports and Locked On Podcast Network. Let's see what you wonderful people are saying in the chat about this terrible game today. Yet another one. Raymond Clark, what's going on? Oh, my God. Soto was up in the – wow, you were getting involved early, Raymond. Thank you. Soto was up in the pen. We're throwing the game away. Well, yes, but with Alvarado. Raymond Clark, hello again. I'm done. Alvarado and Soto, shake my head. Soto was fine. Wasn't good, but he was fine. Tough to win. Trey Hartbohm, 3 buttons, and Hayes can't manage to get a hit between them. I'm watching some bad movie over and over again. Oh, it's like watching some bad movie and over again. Yeah, it certainly seems like it. John Marinelli, thank you. IBH, good grief, Charlie Brown. Not sure I would have Stubbs lead off the 9th. Not ideal. Christopher Michael, Phillies are really not good at all. This is just pathetic at this point. Get random games where we score a ton of runs, then the majority of games are trash. 4, 5, 6 hit games. Alvarado is trash. Thanks. Oh, and there's more, Christopher Michael. And it's ridiculous for people to say we're just going through a tough time when we were 27 and 27 over the last 2 months or so. That's a lot of bleeping games, not a small 10 to 20 group slump, game slump. Yes. 824 baseball is not fun. We are not having fun. We're not having fun. You're absolutely right. Alvarado comes in and the game is turned off in my house. He's the instant off button. He's the flip is what he is, Jose Alvarado. Matt, what's going on? You could bring in a guy to try and make like Rojas and Pache were the only problems, even Marsh, or with the relievers as if Sir Anthony was the only problem. True enough, fair enough. Why we send down Marchand is still a puzzler. I think it has to do more so with the guys coming down from minor league baseball coming up and all that. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, boy. We have a visitor. Can you say hi? Hi. Well, I thought you guys were playing outside.
But I don't want to.
Oh, okay. All right. Why don't you go color? Can you say hi? This is my daughter, Emanuela. Madalu, say hi.
Hi.
Very nice. How would you think of the Phillies today?
Good.
You didn't watch one. You watched the home run by Kyle Schwarber. So that's good. That's good. Let's see. Oh, I got to take this thing off here. Didn't do that yet. There we go. It's just that easy. One day I'll put a door on the studio. Hard to take this seriously. Not an ounce of credit to the Guardians bullpen or DA. No, why would I do that? Phillies lost because the Guardians are good. Thanks for watching. This is a Phillies show. Timothy B. Farzetta, if Dombrowski thinks he's done making trades, then he is delusional because this team isn't winning jack. This team needs a major shakeup. Well, it's not happening. And I honestly don't think they need a major shakeup. I do think that they have been playing some pretty inconsistent baseball for a long time. The Phillies, if you remember, August, September last year, they also hit a lull. This is more than a lull. I'll give you, I am not disputing that. But I don't think that the talent of this baseball team just all of a sudden went out. And I don't think that Dave Dombrowski, I like the moves that Dave Dombrowski has made to this point. I don't think there's any bigger move coming down the line. The Phillies that are pretty much as they are right now up until September call-ups, or the Phillies are going to be going into the postseason. I think they're a better team than what we've been seeing lately. I have zero doubt about that. As whether or not they'll get past, I saw the Braves today, or the Braves and the White Sox are having conversations about Luis Robert Jr. And I know a lot of people that would very much upset them. If he went to the Braves, it would upset me too. But I still have a lot of confidence in this Phillies team as far as where they're going to be by the time the postseason rolls around. If anything is rung true, especially over the last 2 years with this team, it's that when push comes to shove, by the end of the season, they're locked in and they're focused. I don't think that that's going anywhere. Joshua Simba, what's going on? I know this probably wouldn't have mattered, but why let Stubbs lead off the ninth? I agree. Not exactly the guy that I'd be going to off the bench there in that situation. They had used Stott already at that game. I'm trying to. Yeah, you already had some other guys out there that normally be pinch hits. Sosa already hit. What, Rojas? Have Rojas dropped on a bunt? Yeah. All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at where the Phillies are headed after this one, of course. After this 3-game series with the Guardians, it doesn't get much easier with the New York Yankees coming to town after this. We'll be back in a second. Locked On Sports Philadelphia and Locked On Phillies POSTCAST. Supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trade. Supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 of the top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get competitive edge by joining Supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to the dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com. Looking ahead for the Phillies, yes, it is the New York Yankees coming to town tomorrow night to start a 3-game series. Luis Gil will get the start against Zach Wheeler tomorrow night at 6:40. Gil comes to town, or Hill comes to town on 10-5 on the season with a 3.10 ERA. Yankees 61-45 going up against the Phillies 65-40. Yankees have had a tough go of it. Looking at their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, they have not won back-to-back games since 2 wins against the Baltimore Orioles. They're able to eke out those wins in Baltimore. But they went up against the Rays. They split that series 2-2. Then they lost 2 games to the Mets, lost a game to the Red Sox, and then they play again tonight against the Red Sox coming up at 7 o'clock tonight in Boston, looking to win that series and win their first back-to-back games in their last 10. Be the first time they did that going up against the Red Sox tonight. But for tomorrow, Zach Wheeler will get the ball for the Phillies, looking to really continue his, dominance from a 7-inning performance against the Minnesota Twins. Phillies were able to win that game that he started. They won 3-0 in that one, going 7 innings scoreless, 7 scoreless, 3 hits allowed in that one, surrendering 2 walks. So Zach Wheeler back on the hill certainly helps the Phillies cause in all of that. Estevez will also be joining the Phillies tomorrow and be in the back end of their bullpen. Rob Thomson hasn't said the word closer. All he has said is he'll see a lot of 9 innings, or a lot of the 9th inning. That's what he'll see. I can only hope that's the case, because the Phillies certainly need to have someone come in here and handle that 9th inning. If you're, again, the thing I'm looking forward to is that if you have Strom, Hoffman, and Estevez go into that 9th inning, or set up 9th or 7th, 8th, and 9th, then you feel pretty good about not having to use Orion Kerkering, who's had his struggles as of late. I also feel confident about not having to use Jose Alvarado, and then the always uncomfortable Gregory Soto, even though he had 11-pitch inning tonight. If that's your 7th, 8th, and 9th pitchers, and in the season winds down and in the playoffs, you have guys going 5, 6 innings with some great regularity, then you're going to be slamming the door quite often for this Phillies bullpen. That makes you feel good going forward. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia for all your postcast needs. Be back with you guys tomorrow night after Yankees-Phillies open up their 3-game series in South Philly. Once again, like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Back with you guys tomorrow night. See you then.